So in this video, we are going to show you how to assign exams for finals and courses on the Morph platform. So you'll begin by logging in at training.morphlearning.com or at the URL you were provided by your company and enter your username and password. If you haven't received your username and password yet, then you can check your email. Can't find it there, check your spam folder. If you still can't find it, shoot us an email at support@morphmedia.com and log in with your username and password. And then we're going to go to the admin panel by clicking on the admin on the right, and then we will click on exams. So courses have exams, final exams. And so once you have a final exam in a course, then what you'll do is go in and select that course, and you actually have to assign that exam. So we're going to click on a particular course, and you see there is a final exam, so we're going to enable the exam, and then you can select the passing score, what that minimum score is. And so whatever that you want it to be, 70%, 75, 60, 80, you decide what that is. And then you can also limit the number of exam attempts. So if this is left blank and it's not selected, it'll default to unlimited number. And if you want to limit, then you select that. And then you can type in the number of attempts. So this is the number of attempts you want them to take the exam before they have to go back and complete the course over again. And once you do that, the system automatically saves it, so you don't need to do anything to save. And then you can go into another one of your courses and enable the exam, or if you click off, then the exam will not be in there. So click enable, put in your passing score. Here you see we're not limiting the exam attempts. The system does default here to 1, but as you can see, it's crossed out as it's not valid because we haven't limited the number of exam attempts. If we want to limit the number of exam attempts, we would do that, and then we would put the number in here, and that would limit that. Otherwise, you want to select that you're not limiting, and that way they can take the exam over and over again. And we'll go ahead and do another one. Here we see we have an exam here that's been enabled, and there we see an exam there. So however many courses you want to enable the exam, this is where you're going to do this. If you do not enable the exam, then the students will not see the final exam. So I'm going to go back to the dashboard here and show you what an exam looks like. And we're going to select on courses. So here you see that there either is an exam, there's no final exam here, so there's no final. And here there is an exam. Now, in order for the user to unlock the final exam, they actually have to complete the entire course. And so here we see they click on the course. It's going to walk them through the information, and they'll have all the modules to complete. Each module is actually locked because there's a quiz in that module. So they must complete the first module. So we'll do that real quick. Module 1. They must go through all the information here, and they can listen to the audio file if they want to do that, or they can read through the information here. Once they get to the end, then they're going to take the quiz. Under quizzes, they can take it as many times as they want. There's a timer that's going to count down, and then points that it's going to give them points. And again, this is part of the gamification element that goes into the Morph system. There's been a lot of research that has done. We consult with Yukai Zhao, who's the world's leading gamification expert, on creating the elements of gamification. And it's relatively new, so it's something you may not be used to. But our studies have all found that it is something that users want, and they are finding it very beneficial in how they are utilizing, especially for compliance training. It makes it much more interactive and engaging to something that typically is mundane. So here they can answer the question. It's going to tell them, yes, that's the correct answer, how many points they've gained, and that's going to go in their own count for points, and then also the team count. and then it unlocks the next tab. So you see that that lock is gone, and they can complete that. Once they get all the way through the end of the course, all of these will be unlocked. And this is actually a very comprehensive course until they get to the final exam. And you can see that's locked. Now, as an administrator, you have the ability to actually override and go into these areas. So you can bypass it. And here you see the final exam. Now, the difference between the final exam and the quizzes is they can only give one answer. And so once they give that answer, the system's going to record it. And then once they get to the end of the course, as they give their answer, the system is going to record their answer, and it'll keep a running tally of how they're doing as far as a percentage in answering all of these questions. And so there's no timer, but it is a requirement for them to make it all the way through the end of the exam. And then once they do that, then they will receive their final score. I'm actually going to hop onto a shorter exam so we can show you what that looks like. And here we have a shorter exam here. So this is the intro of the course. Then we're going to go into our modules. We're going to click on final exam. As administrator, you can override that. And so what they'll do is answer these questions. I'm going to just blaze through this so you can see what it looks like once we get to the end of this. And as you can see, the system is just recording an answer. It's not giving them any feedback as to how they're doing on it. And they can only have one question, but it is actually retaining all of their answers and giving an overall percentage on how they're doing on that final exam. There's a lot of compliance requirements for final exams. So now it shows them that they've completed the exam, and when we go down to this course, it's going to show them, okay, it's a 40%. You'll also see this in your reporting, and we'll cover that in another video. But here, they're going to have to go back and complete the exam again. And so they can click, and again, we have administrative duties because we haven't actually finished that particular course. And so we're going to go back through, and I'm just going to blaze through this again. Not worried about actually passing this at this time. What I want to do is actually just show you what that looks like in the history of the exams, so that they can see that. Now, they will not receive a certificate of completion until they have successfully passed the final exam, if there is a final. If there is no final in the course, then they will receive a certificate of completion once they get through an entire course. But if there's a final exam, they must take that exam and they must get a passing score. So now we're going to go down, and looks like I might have done a little bit worse. I've got a 40%, but now you can click over here and they can see their exam history. So they can see how they did on the exams, and that way they can go back and improve. So that's it for our exams. And again, assign those by clicking on exam. If you need any further help, please email us at support@morphmedia.com, and you can find more information at www.morphmedia.com.